Two identical houses on the same street with the same purchase price can have dramatically different monthly payments in Central Texas. The reason often comes down to three letters most relocators have never heard of: MUD and PID. Hi, I'm Brandon Holley with Holley Homes Realty right here in South Austin, and if you are relocating to Central Texas and you have your eye on new construction in Buda, Kyle, Bastrop, or South Austin, this video is for you. I'm going to walk you through how these district taxes actually work, so by the end you can run the real monthly numbers yourself and decide whether a home is the right fit before you fall in love with a floor plan. In this video, I am going to show you three things. First, the difference between a MUD and a PID and why that difference matters to your wallet. Second, roughly what those cost and the 5-minute self-check you can run on any address. Third, a simple framework for deciding whether a home with one of these is actually worth it for you. And I will give you the honest truth most agents will not say out loud, which is that these do not disappear on a schedule you get to control. So why do these even exist? When a developer builds a brand new community out where there was nothing before, somebody obviously has to pay for the water lines, the sewer lines, and the roads. A MUD or a PID is the tool they use to finance all of it. That is why you see them almost entirely in new construction on the growing edges of town, which is exactly where many relocation buyers are looking, and that's because that's where the new communities are located. The reason this topic never leaves the headlines is simple. Property taxes are the hottest subject in Texas politics, and every year the suburbs fill up with more communities with MUDs and PIDs. And the good news is that Texas law requires the seller and the builder to disclose a MUD or a PID to you in writing. The catch is that the disclosure only protects you if you understand what you are reading. And if you're planning a move to Central Texas, hit subscribe because every week I break down the stuff that actually changes your payments with real numbers and no sales pitch. So let me start with the difference. People use MUD and PID like they are the same thing, but they are not. A MUD is a municipal utility district. Think of it as its own little local government created under Texas state law that exists to pay for the water, sewage, and drainage in a new community. It charges a property tax rate on top of your normal taxes. Here's the important part: that rate can move up or down each year, and as the district pays down its bonds, it usually trends down over time. You also vote for the board that runs it, so there is at least some local control. Sunfield and Buda and Easton Park in Southeast Austin are a good example of a MUD district. That lazy river and all those amenities did not pay for themselves. The district is part of how a community like that gets built. Now the PID, because this is the one people get caught by. A PID is a public improvement district. A city or county sets this one up, usually to pay for the lifestyle features like trails, landscaping, and the lighting. It shows up as a separate assessment on your bill, and it is typically a fixed amount for a set number of years, often 20 to 30. And here's the most important part: as a resident, you do not vote on it. The decision sits with the city. You can take Persimmon in Buda, for example. It's a newer master plan community, and the PID helps fund the roads, utilities, parks, and amenities being built as the neighborhood grows. Drop a real quick comment with the community you are looking at, and I will let you know what's going on with their tax situation. And now let's talk about the cost. I am going to give you general numbers, not exact ones, because these vary by district, by community, and honestly sometimes even down to the street. The easiest way to picture it is in terms of rate. A normal home around here with no district runs somewhere around 2% in total. And if you step into a MUD or a PID community, that number often jumps to 2.5% or even more. On a $450,000 home, taxes at 2% come out to about $750 a month, and at 2.5%, they're running about $940. So that extra 0.5%, the district piece, is costing you roughly $190 a month on top of everything else. And some districts run higher, and on those you can be looking at $300 to $400 a month just for that one line item. A rough rule of thumb is about $20 to $40 a month for every $50,000 a home, and that's just for the MUD or PID portion. Here is something most buyers never stop to think about. A more expensive home in an established neighborhood with no district can end up costing you about the same per month as a cheaper new build that has one. The difference is where your money goes. In one case, more of that payment is going towards your principal, towards something you actually own. In the other, more of it is going toward taxes. Neither one is automatically the wrong call, but you deserve to know which one you are choosing. And you do not have to wait for a builder to hand you a disclosure. You can check any home yourself in about 5 minutes. Pull up the County Appraisal District website. For South Austin, that is Travis County. For Buda and Kyle, that is Hayes County. And for Bastrop, that is Bastrop County. Search the address, look at every taxing entity, and add up the rates. That total is your true effective tax rate, and that is the number you should be running, not the base rate on the listing. And when you are standing in the model home, ask the builder this exact question: what is the property tax rate without the MUD or PID, and what is the MUD or PID rate on top of that? So how should you actually think about this? A MUD or a PID is not automatically good or bad. The real question is what you're getting in return. If you take the communities like Sunfield or Easton Park, you're not just buying a house, you're buying access to resort-style pools, miles of trails, parks, playgrounds, and community amenities that cost real money to build. Those districts are a big part of why those neighborhoods have become so popular. On the other side, if your priority is keeping your tax burden as low as possible, there are established neighborhoods throughout Central Texas that don't have these districts at all. You may give up on some of those newer amenities, but that trade-off can make sense depending on your financial goals. And at the end of the day, don't get caught up at whether the community has a MUD or a PID. Focus on whether the total monthly payment and the lifestyle you're getting in return makes sense for you. That's the calculation that actually matters at the end of the day. All right, so now you might be thinking, don't these taxes eventually just go away? And the honest answer is kind of, but not on a timeline you get to control. It works a little like a toll road. The debt is supposed to get paid off and the rate is supposed to come down, but the timing sits with the people holding that debt, not with you. So the honest move is to budget as if you will be paying it for a good while and treat any decrease down the road as a bonus, not as your plan. And I would much rather you hear this from me now than feel surprised by it later on. And to be clear, a district is not a reason to walk away from a home you love. Some of the best communities in Central Texas have one. It is just a number you need to include in your real budget with your eyes open. And if this is clearing things up for you, a quick like tells YouTube to show it to more people making this same move. So if you're weighing purchasing a new construction home and you want to know the real monthly numbers before you commit, I put together a free MUD and PID checklist that walks you through the exact self-check and the questions to ask. I'm going to link it in the description below. And I understand now may not be the right time, and I never want to be pushy. Just know that I am here if you have questions, would like to start planning, or need anything at all. Links below to the checklist and relocation guides, and stay tuned next week when we take a deeper dive into Kyle, the pie capital of Texas. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Brandon Holley with Holley Homes Realty, and I'll see you next week.